Well guys, I guess I was wrong. After this season I thought that Steph would be practically untouchable when it came to horrific takes, but that wouldn't be accurate. The Golden State Warriors just won the championship, and Curry got his finals MVP. My thought process was along the lines of, what could they say now? And for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, we'll get to that shortly, but before we go any further, let's get a word from our sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. In just 6 quick seconds with ExpressVPN, you can change where sites think that you're located to show that you're from a different part of this world, which just so happens to be way more clutch than you might think. I use ExpressVPN personally to be able to watch some of the coolest movies and TV shows that just aren't available in the US for whatever reason. With ExpressVPN, I'm able to gain access to over thousands of new shows in a matter of seconds. You guys see me connecting to the UK right here. Now, since I've connected to the UK, I magically have the ability to watch Rick and Morty. And the thing is that there are tons of shows just like Rick and Morty in this scenario. Also, for those of us that game like me, ExpressVPN lets us mask our IP, which protects us from DDoS attacks from rival gamers, or anybody trying to access our personal information. I don't know about you guys, but I like my privacy. Make sure you guys don't let ExpressVPN's offer go to waste. If you use my link, expressvpn.com/decoop, you'll get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. I want to give a huge shout out to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. I guess there's just something about the Golden State Warriors that brings even NBA players to have takes that don't line up with reality. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, then you've heard this one before, but for those that haven't, according to Steph Curry, Dillon Brooks called himself a dynasty not too long ago, while also saying that the Golden State Warriors are getting old. In a way, he wasn't wrong. The Golden State Warriors core is getting a little older, but their most important piece has yet to show signs of serious decline. I know that some people might not like hearing this, but Klay Thompson dropped my jaw a few times as he felt out his new role and tried to evolve his game. And as for Dre, he's still very important to what the Warriors want to do. He might not be max contract important, but Dre still matters a lot. On Dre's podcast, he would actually respond to some of the Grizz, let's just call it confidence.
I've said that about Memphis. Like, those young guys, they're unfazed by anything. And a large part of the reason that they're unfazed is because they just don't understand how big the moment is. Talking to the team that won a championship after they beat you, after they win a championship, is an entirely different level of oblivion. Like, it doesn't get much more oblivious than that. And I think for them, you're now going to be expected to do that. You're now going to be expected to win these games. And it's not as easy when teams are coming for you. And so I think now they're going to get their reality check. And it's not that they won't still be able to win. They may still be able to win, but they're going to realize how much harder it is.
I rock with Memphis a lot, but they're kind of wild. The Grizzlies are apparently using what Draymond said as bulletin board material for their weight room. The Grizz and Warriors matching up is one of many moments that I'm looking forward to this upcoming year. Let me know what matchups, debuts, or moments you guys are looking forward to down in the comments below. Now, if you guys thought that what the Grizzlies said was bad, just wait until you hear what Mike James said during the Players' Choice podcast.
In my top 5, I got Kev, Bron, Embiid, Giannis, and then I got to think. It get tough after that.
It just blows my mind Steph isn't top 5 for anybody.
How he plays and how he gets stuff off, it's just kind of one-dimensional at times. If we put Luka, Embiid, Bron, KD, and Giannis on any team in the world, they gonna be who they are right there as soon as you put them in there. I don't know about that for Steph. I think it's a little murky for Steph.
For some background on Mike James, he's a former NBA player that went undrafted. His last stint was with the Brooklyn Nets, not to be confused with the Mike James who's retired and played for the Chicago Bulls, who I also got a picture with, and also not to be confused with Mike Jones or anything like that. I feel like Brooklyn Mike James was one of those players where the talent never really matched the production, which might be tough to say considering that he wasn't in the league that long. Really, I think he was just more talented than his time in the NBA showed. And I just really wanted to make that felt, because yeah, Mike James is random in the context of this whole situation, but it's not like he's some complete random to the NBA. It's not like he's bad at basketball at all. If you play professionally, you have to be really good or really tall. And I say this as a tall person that did not play professionally. As of right now, James is hooping overseas and he's filthy. No, like he's seriously really cold. Time conflict aside, I really wish that the EuroLeague consistently broadcasted games over here. Now, some of you guys may or may not know this, but not too long ago, KD visited his boy Mike James for a game and the environment left me speechless.
And he can play a bit corny. Two-time in.
Here's the thing, I have no problem with him not including Steph in his top 5. I would disagree, but I mean, come on. Everybody's top 5s are going to be different, and he's right. Some great player is eventually going to get left off when making one. I guarantee that if everybody watching this video made a top 5, that there would be multiple people who had a problem with everyone's top 5. These conversations are what make discussing basketball chill. Now, what I don't agree with in the slightest is calling the guy who has led one of the most successful dynasties in the game one-dimensional. Steph is not reliant on the Warriors system. He is the system. Did Mike James miss Steph averaging 32 points on 48% from the field and 42.1% from deep with a broken down Warriors roster a season or so ago? During this season, around half of Steph's shots were unassisted, and he had one of the highest usage rates in the league. For reference, the 49.8% of Steph's field goals that were unassisted was more than the 49% of unassisted field goals that KD had this year. Also, last year, Steph, a player who thrives off ball and also on ball and gets baskets in a plethora of ways, was also in the top 15 for isolation baskets scored, despite playing less games than a number of players before him. Though Steph only ISO'd 7.6% of the time last year, he ranked as one of the best points per isolation players in the league, averaging 1.2 a possession. This would be better than Luka, KD, Jokic, virtually everybody. I've always felt like Steph was such an absurdly elite shooter to the point that it hurt some people's perception of him. And well, this is actually living proof of that. Just because you don't rely on ISO scoring, that doesn't make you one-dimensional. You don't get attribute points or bag points per dribble. Now, I could continue and talk about the fact that Draymond said that Steph was doubled much more in the finals as opposed to Durant, and that Tyronn Lue even admitted this. To quote Tyronn Lue, he's so dangerous, probably the most dangerous player in the league, the way he can get hot. In 2017 and 2018, we blitzed him, still with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant on the floor. So that's how dangerous I think he is. Now, that quote isn't meant to take away from either player mentioned, especially KD, because we all know how crucial he was to that team, and when they needed baskets, he would rise to the occasion. It's more so meant to put things into perspective for when we talk about how dangerous Steph Curry really is. Now, as you guys can guess, Steph heard all of the noise.
One-on-one versus you and any of the campers here, what does that look like?
Oh, it's all bad for them. All bad for them. Even as one-dimensional as I am. I'm petty, dog. I'm so petty. Oh, I'm so petty. Keep it going. I like that one a lot, though. Sorry.
You're good.
You gotta keep that in there, though.
I really wish that I could have seen Steph's reaction when he heard that he was one-dimensional. I'm sure Steph has heard so much throughout his career that hearing something like this doesn't even faze him. But at the same time, it's like, bro, are you serious? Because this isn't coming from just any random guy. This is coming from somebody that used to play in the NBA. This is coming from Kevin Durant's boy. Now, don't get me wrong. I was always envious of the Warriors, and I'd be lying if I said they never made me mad and I was never frustrated with them. I mean, they broke records on us. They ruined our hopes. They did a lot to my team. But throughout all of that, I was never delusional. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.